Irene Sue, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Ed Robertson, welcoming you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television. Chuck Harter is with us as we welcome Erica Gavin. Erica Gavin, the actress known around the world as the star of Vixen. Vixen, the satiric sexploitation film produced, directed, and co-written by Russ Meyer that none other than Roger Ebert once described as the quintessential Russ Meyer film. Released in the fall of 1968 amidst the cultural chaos that was sweeping the United States at the time, Vixen is the story of an oversexed young housewife played by Erica Gavin that also tackles racism, communism, draft dodging, incest, and other taboo issues, all in just 70 minutes. Despite attempts at censorship, including one of the first ever X ratings and 23 separate prosecutions in the United States for obscenity, Vixen became one of the top grossing movies of 1968, forever changing the face of independent filmmaking while remaining the creative template for Russ Meyer's unapologetic vision of American cinema. Our friends at Severin Films have just released Vixen on Blu-ray. It is one of 3 Russ Meyer films released on Blu-ray for the very first time as part of a landmark partnership between Severin Films and the Russ Meyer Trust. We'll tell you more about the Blu-ray release of Vixen in just a moment. In the meantime, we began our conversation by telling Erica, say hello to my friend Chuck. He'll be co-hosting the segment with me.
Oh, wonderful. Hi, Chuck.
Hey, Erica. Nice to be here with you.
Thank you. Same here.
Where are you in relation to all of the fires? I understand that wherever you are safe and have been safe.
Yes. Well, it was a close call, a little bit, but not major. Where are you? Are you in Pasadena?
I'm in South. I'm in South Pass. I'm about 5-6 miles south of the Eaton fire. And
oh wow!
Yeah,
wow.
I'm far enough that I'm okay, but I'm close enough that I was a little nervous for several days.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unreal.
It is. It's.
And did you have people that lost their homes? Do you know?
What? Yeah. A good friend of mine lost his home in Altadena.
So did mine.
Wow.
Same thing.
Yeah.
He sent me a picture of himself in front of rubble, just to the ground.
Yeah.
And he had just bought the house a year ago.
Wow.
And had only lived in it for a year.
My God.
Oh, dear.
Finished, done.
Yeah, the only way I was disrupted was my building and my everybody else in my immediate block and neighborhood. We were without power for about 2 days because of the winds and all
wow.
of that. But compared to other people, I'm fortunate.
Yes. Oh my goodness. But you suffered from all the smoke, I'm sure.
No, yeah. No, that was an issue. I either stayed in my apartment or for a while I was working out of my car because my car was warmer than my apartment, if that makes sense, So.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You had no power?
My building and my entire block was, we're on the one quadrant of South Pasadena that was affected by the power failures. Everybody else, all the other shops were operating and the signal lights were working and this, that, and the other thing. But on like a 3 or 4 block stretch, if you happen to be part of that stretch as I was, you were out of business. And so we were without power almost 2 full days.
Wow.
But
wow.
Yeah. But like everybody else, we're heeding the air quality warnings and the wind warnings and paying attention to the forecast, but hoping the forecasts are wrong.
Yeah, now we're going to start. Just 2 days ago, it was just by the 405 and the Getty Center again.
Wow.
Yeah, and a friend of mine, she was going to be evacuated. I mean, it's just ongoing.
Yeah.
And now it's in Ventura, I guess.
Yeah. If all goes well, I'll be talking to Harrison in the next in the next week or so, and he was very upfront with me. I said, I'll be happy to do this, but this was the day that the Hughes fire broke out in Castaic. And he said, I'm close enough to that I don't know whether I need to evacuate or not. So as soon as I know whether this is a thing or not, I will get back to you, and we'll also talk about Vixen. So if all goes well, I'll be talking to you both.
Yes, sweet. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Erica Gavin is on the line with us. Erica stars along with Harrison Page, Garth Pillsbury, and Vincent Wallace in Russ Meyer's Vixen. Russ Meyer's Vixen, now available on Blu-ray for the very first time from our friends at Severin Films. The Blu-ray release includes more than 3 hours of extra features, including audio commentary by Erica Gavin and a whole lot more. Russ Meyer's Vixen, now available on Blu-ray through Severin Films, severinfilms.com for more on Erica Gavin. You can follow Erica, ericagavin.com, as well as Erica Gavin on Instagram. I love everything Severin did with this movie. This is a marvelous Blu-ray package, and I want as many people to know about it as possible.
Oh, thank you. You saw the film? Did you see the extras as well?
Yes, I did, and I have to say that the audio commentary that you did with David.
Yes.
David being David Gregory, co-founder and CEO of Severin Films. One of the best audio I'm not saying this to suck up to the guest. I say this because I mean this. It is one of the best audio commentaries I have ever had the pleasure of enjoying, because there's only, I was telling this to Chuck before you called. There's only like one or two moments where you guys pause and actually sort of watch the movie. But you really give us the sense that we're in the same room, sitting on the couch next to the two of you, watching this movie together, and you telling all these stories.
Oh wow, that's so fun! I haven't yet watched it. Well, I saw it when we did the extra, but I haven't actually watched it on the Blu-ray. I guess it's Blu-ray.
It is Blu-ray, and the print of the movie itself, it's like brand new. It is. I mean, Severin and MoMA, they did a marvelous job restoring it.
They did, and I think it's everything that Russ would have wanted it to be.
Absolutely.
It's so his style. It will speak to his legacy for sure. For sure.
Absolutely, and that's as good a way to formally start our conversation, Erica. We talk a lot about context in my program.
Okay.
How we talk a lot about how certain mores that were considered controversial or unacceptable in the 60s or the 70s may seem tame when we look at it by today's standards. That's exactly what we have going on with Vixen.
It's interesting because it was like Russ, in a way, always had his finger on the pulse of what was happening at the time in the news. Whether it was with Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and the final scenes, which sort of mirrored the Manson, their horrible crimes.
Yes.
And in Vixen, it was all about, the communist witch hunts at the end. And it sort of brought it mirrored what was happening in the world.
Yes.
He had that sort of sense. And because with Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, it was so right on the tail of the Manson reign.
Mm-hmm.
It sure was.
It was 1970?
70.
Was it 1970?
1970,
that
yeah.
Beyond the Valley of the Dolls?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Yep.
And Vixen was 68, was when we filmed it. So, yeah, he was right there.
He was right there, and just to make it clear to our listeners, yes, Vixen was one of the first mainstream movies to be given an X rating, but Russ did not intend this to be X-rated. That was beyond his control. It is, the way I describe it, it is suggestive, it is erotic, but it's not graphic at all.
Oh, right. Well, it was not porn.
No.
And many people that have not seen the film think it is. People that I meet, they say, "Oh yeah, you were one of those porn stars, right?" And I'm like, "No."
No.
Not that there's anything wrong with that,
No.
but it was at a time. Can you hear me okay? I'm not sure.
You're fine. Your audio level is excellent. So just keep just relax and keep going.
Thank you. Relax is the key word. I do get a little bit nervous with it.
No. If
I'm not used to it.
No, you're
fine.
You're fine. You're fine, Erica.
Just go ahead,
Yeah.
Erica. Everything's cool.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, it's unknown waters for me to be all of a sudden after 50 some odd years to be interviewed, about a film I did, in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And but it is not porn, and it I think that, in my opinion, Russ liked getting an X rating. It certainly didn't stop any sales or tickets being sold to get in. There were lines around the block for over a year in the South, which is a little bit surprising that it was. And the first week gross in Chicago at the Loop Theater was over $68,000, and that was his entire investment to make the film.
Yes.
$68,000.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just the first week in one house. And to date, as far as I know, it's grossed over $2.2 million.
Well, quality will out.
Erica Gavin is on the line with us. Erica Gavin, the actress known around the world as the star of Russ Meyer's Vixen. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back. One more item. If you're starting a company, particularly one that is in an emerging market, you know that averting any sort of legal dispute is crucial to your business plan. Our friends at Tectonic Law offer an array of services that can help you avoid and preempt future litigation while also developing and protecting your intellectual property and intangible assets. Tectonic Law serves the needs of a host of emerging industries throughout California and beyond, including industrial designers, beverage makers, artists, farmers, retail stores, health practitioners, wellness experts, cosmetics manufacturers, nonprofit organizations, innovators in sustainable practices, and libraries. Go to tectoniclaw.com to learn more about how Tectonic Law can help your business thrive. tectoniclaw.com. Rock solid representation for groundbreaking industries.
This portion of TV Confidential is brought to us by our friends at Front Porch Realty, the community of realtors in the Northern Bay Area of California that is committed to finding the solution that is best for their clients. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or looking to sell or lease your property in Northern California, call Karen Strain at 415-886-7411 or visit frontporchrealtygroup.com for more information on how they can help you.
Hi, this is Julie Newmar, and you are listening to TV Confidential.
Russ Meyer's Vixen, the story of a girl who loves the joy of being alive and gives herself innocently to the merry chase of life. But like any other game, life has its rules, and if we trespass beyond them, the game can become deadly.
Erica Gavin is on the line with us. Erica stars along with Harrison Page, Garth Pillsbury, and Vincent Wallace in Russ Meyer's Vixen, the story of an oversexed young housewife played by Erica Gavin, and it also tackles racism, communism, draft dodging, incest, and other taboo issues, all in just 70 minutes. Despite attempts at censorship, including one of the first ever X ratings and 23 separate prosecutions for obscenity, most of which in the state of Ohio, Vixen became one of the top grossing movies of 1968, forever changing the face of independent filmmaking while remaining the creative template for Russ Meyer's unapologetic vision of American cinema. Our friends at Severin Films have just released Vixen on Blu-ray as part of Russ Meyer's Bosomania trilogy. The print of Vixen, available on the Blu-ray release, was marvelously restored by Severin Films, working in conjunction with the Museum of Modern Art, while the Blu-ray of Russ Meyer's Vixen includes more than 3 hours of extra features, including audio commentary by Erica Gavin, archival interviews with Erica Gavin and Harrison Page, a featurette on the various censorship issues that Vixen faced at the time of its original release, and a whole lot more. Russ Meyer's Vixen now available on Blu-ray wherever Blu-rays are sold through Severin Films, severinfilms.com for more on Erica Gavin, ericagavin.com. You can also follow Erica on Instagram. Also available on Blu-ray from Severin Films as part of its Russ Meyer's Bosomania trilogy are Russ Meyer's Supervixens and Russ Meyer's Beneath the Valley of the Ultravixens. Each of those Blu-ray releases also include more than 3 hours of extra features as well. Both Supervixens and Beneath the Valley of the Ultravixens available severinfilms.com and wherever Blu-rays are sold. Chuck?
Erica, this is Chuck. Hi. You know, if people come up to you these days and say, oh, were you one of those porn stars? If you look at photos of Erica in Vixen, you know, with the big poofy hair and the eyeliner and everything, very sexy, certainly. And I think they just see that and they sort of morph you into, oh, you were one of them. Well, you weren't one of them, certainly. And this new Blu-ray will certainly change people's minds. Not only that you were a good actress and very sexy, of course, but it's a well-made film. And it's funny. And there's a real sense of joy and love and happiness in it, which was Russ's way. So, you say it's weird all these years later being interviewed, but good for you.
Yeah.
You know, this is great that you're going to get your due, have some fun, and I couldn't be happier. And apparently, Erica Gavin is going to have a book out soon, and that should be something to read. I know I'm going to want to read it.
Well, thank you. It's a lot harder than you think it is. And I'm way behind on finishing, not so much finishing, it's the editing and the photos and meeting all the submittal guidelines from the publisher. It's all of those things that I have no clue about, and I'm learning that it's a lot. It's a lot. And I didn't realize it when I started this project. And that I'm excited. I just want it done already.
Yeah, but it'll be done soon, and the struggle will be worth the reward down the road. And
if somebody can get any sort of, I don't know, answers that they have to questions in their life from it, that would be the best for me. I struggled a lot with emotional issues and mood disorders in my life, and if my telling of it helped anybody that is now dealing with those kind of issues and not knowing what to expect next, if it helps them, that's great. Also, I am excited about Russ being reborn by Severin and the Russ RM Films allowing Severin to take these films and restore them. The copies were, I don't mean the copies, but the original print was not in the best shape. And what Severin has done as far as the colors and the sharpness and the pop of it is really Russ. It's got his signature all over it. And what's exciting is that the up-and-coming people in students and existing editors, filmmakers, whatever, are going to get to learn about him. I did a panel at American Film Institute for the anniversary of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. Mm-hmm. And the professor that led it was Matt Clisay. And at the beginning, the audience was packed, the whole auditorium. And he said, how many people have heard of Russ Meyer or Beyond the Valley of the Dolls? And I think like 2 people raised their hands.
Wow.
And what would be wonderful is if those people are asked again in the near future, and there was an overwhelming amount of people that raised their hand that they knew of Russ Meyer and his work and his talent. He was so before his time, mm-hmm. and in the time that Russ was, there was so many, lies, and there was like the whole Charles Keating thing in Ohio. To this day, Vixen is banned in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Their loss.
Yeah, well, and Russ spent thousands and thousands of dollars taking Charles Keating and that decision to court. But we're talking about Charles Keating, who led, I'm not sure, what was it, the Christians Against Pornography or something like that?
Right, that was the organization he led in the 60s, and then he had his comeuppance about 30 years later with the SNL scandal. So
exactly. Here's a man that's like screaming that we should not be allowed to have pornographic, which he called Vixen pornographic material, and yet he's bilking hundreds or thousands of people out of their life savings. That's the hypocrisy that we're dealing with here.
Well, we mentioned a little bit earlier the Blu-ray release of Russ Meyer's Vixen, now available through Severin Films, severinfilms.com, includes more than 3 hours of extra features, including a wonderful audio commentary given by our guest Erica Gavin in conversation with David Gregory of Severin Films. There's a historical featurette that gives the backstory of the censorship controversy and the censorship lawsuits that Russ had to fight with this because of the interference of Charles Keating. There's some archival interviews with Erica and an archival interview with Harrison Page, Erica's co-star in Vixen, and a whole lot more. Russ Meyer's Vixen available on Blu-ray through Severin Films, severinfilms.com. For more on Erica, ericagavin.com. You can follow Erica on Instagram, and if you want to Erica's given a little bit of update on her website about her book that will be coming out hopefully later this year. Whenever that book comes out, Erica, please come back and visit me on TV Confidential. I want to make sure we could talk to you when you're ready for that too.
Absolutely, that would be my pleasure.
Okay, Chuck.
For sure.
Okay, Chuck.
Yeah, I've got a comment, Erica. You talked a little earlier about you went through a lot of things that you've mentioned now, and your website mentioned some other things. Let's say days of adventure on the Sunset Strip with the rockers, if you get me. And you are a survivor, and kudos to you. Because in researching this a little, I looked at Caged Heat again, even though it's not part of this, and Rainbow Smith was somebody I knew in the early 80s. Cheryl. She was a drummer for the LA Girls 3-piece band, and I was their audio engineer and worked with them a lot. Cheryl was a good drummer and talented, but tragically, in the 80s, OD'd. So you survived it all. So kudos to you, and you have a sense of humor about all this. So you're a real inspiration, and that's what you talked about before. And I think the release of the Blu-ray, and certainly your book when it comes out, will show that a young actress can go through the trials of fire, pull through, and blossom in later years. So good on you.
Thank you. I feel very blessed. I mean, that I'm still here, and we lost Haji, and we lost Tura Satana, and so many others. It's, I don't know. I know there's a reason that I'm still here. I don't quite yet know what it is exactly.
So I can meet you.
There's so many reasons for me not to be here, and yet I am, and I mean, it's been a great travel, I'll tell you.
Erica Gavin is on the line with us. Erica Gavin, the actress known around the world as the star of Russ Meyer's Vixen. Erica will be back next week for part 2 of our conversation. She'll share a few memories of some of her co-stars in Vixens, plus she'll give us some insight into who Russ Meyer was as a filmmaker and who Russ was as a person. That's coming up next week, part 2 of our conversation with Erica Gavin here on TV Confidential. In the meantime, Russ Meyer's Vixen, now available on Blu-ray from Severin Films, along with Russ Meyer's Supervixens and Russ Meyer's Beneath the Valley of the Ultravixens. All 3 of these Blu-ray releases include more than 3 hours of extra features. SeverinFilms.com, SeverinFilms.com. Take a quick time out, then Lucy Arnaz will join us. We come back on TV Confidential.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it.
800-365-4216. 800-365-4216. 800-365-4216. That's 800-365-4216.